Fascism hatches in America. This is Law and Society. Please subscribe and let's get right to it. Donald Trump's administration is actually an authoritarian regime, primarily because Donald is ruling and not governing. In the United States, we call presidential tenures administrations because the Constitution requires that the president administer the laws passed by Congress. Administration of justice and the rule of law is known as governing with the consent of the people through acts of Congress. Donald Trump isn't doing that. He isn't faithfully executing the laws like the Constitution requires of him. He is unfaithfully violating fundamental constitutional commands and not executing the laws passed by Congress. He is withholding funds appropriated by Congress. He's sending back rescissions packages to Congress for them to sign off on Donald's economic and political agenda rather than what's good for the country and our general welfare. He's attacking boats in international waters, claiming drug trafficking as the impetus without any proof other than his regime's assertion, pushing for adversarial confrontations with other countries. He abandoned our allies in Europe when it comes to Ukraine. He's rolling back environmental protections that keep Americans safe, closing pollution monitoring stations in poor and rural areas, and opening up America to indiscriminate fossil fuel drilling. Without any regard to the environment or America's public lands and natural national treasures, Donald is kicking our economy and country backwards, rolling back down from the hill of progress. Cancellation of U.S. aids and its fallouts have been horrific and are accelerating. Then there is his ever-expanding police state. What started with undocumented migrants has morphed into a mission to rid America of anything that displeases Donald's regime. Everybody from foreign students and legal foreign workers to citizens in the wrong place at the wrong time, to mentally ill homeless people, to they, them, the evildoers on the radical left, to Antifa, which is an ideology and not a group. Everybody is a target. Everybody who disagrees with Donald Trump's false narratives is a target. Anybody who warns that America has entered an economic stagflation is a target. Any media organization that does not adhere to approved talking points risks cancellations and FCC bureaucracy that is now actively hunting media content that challenges Donald Trump's regime. The attacks on the press, limiting access, insulting journalists, putting restrictions on what can be asked at press conferences, and attacks on groups, individuals, and general ideologies prove that Donald Trump is not governing. He is ruling by fiat, crushing dissent, being uncivilized, and implementing executive orders that directly violate the Constitution and its amendments. At some point, media companies that have capitulated and given Donald what he wants have to ask themselves whether their decisions were worth it. because even after bowing down, they still aren't getting the access any reasonable person would expect from a transparent administration. In fact, there's nothing reasonable about anything Donald Trump's regime is doing. Economically, Donald has destroyed America's bargaining position throughout the world. His invalid tariffs have brought havoc to world markets and destabilized the American economy. Economists now believe that America has entered a stagflation, an economic place where inflation keeps growing, prices keep going up, while wages and job availability stagnate. Donald's actions fall outside even the unitary executive theory. The unitary executive still governs with the consent of the people through Congress and not through executive orders in defiance of Congress and of constitutional commands. The unitary executive should theoretically follow the Constitution's Take Care Clause. That is not the case with Donald Trump and his regime. They are ruling with an iron fist without any regard to the Constitution or separation of powers that provides our government with checks and balances so one branch doesn't overreach into the other branches of government. Donald has defied courts, refused to execute the laws as passed by Congress, refused to disperse money Congress has appropriated for specific programs, and taken military actions without congressional authorization. Donald's regime's actions are all red flags, warning all Americans about the ongoing corrosive erosion of our constitutional rights and the destruction of the Constitution itself. Can our republic survive this assault from within? I think it depends entirely on us, on people, on us, on whether we stand up and speak out or choose to remain silent, whether we get in the way of DHS agents terrorizing our communities or just stay hidden behind closed doors. Countless Americans are standing up and speaking out. Countless around the country are being aggressively assaulted by DHS agents when they become obstacles to DHS implementing the regime's orders to round up people it suspects fall into any of the categories of people currently being targeted by the regime. People are protesting peacefully. People are expressing their concerns through social media, engaging in whatever capacity they can. Americans are not being quiet. We are not standing idly by and quietly while Donald dismantles our republic piece by piece. We are making noise. We're calling on others to make noise with us. With our words and peaceful actions, we can etch into history our resistance to tyranny. And it will have an impact. It will prove the resilience of democracy. It will prove the resolve of millions of voices joining together to overcome tyranny. But all of that can only happen if we all keep speaking up, if we keep getting in the way of Donald's false narratives. So remain peaceful and be disruptive. Do not comply with illegal orders. Do not stand by in the face of illegal arrests and detentions. If you are there, record everything. Take pictures and close-ups of the agents. Record any information, license plate, car license plate numbers, name, or identification of ICE uniforms. If you are being targeted, demand a judicial warrant. If they are unable to show you any warrant or court order, do not let them into your home or workplace. Donate to homeless shelters and food kitchens. Volunteer your time for outreach and protest where DHS agents target homeless and or mentally ill people. Volunteer with progressive and patriotic people running for Congress. Push back against any targeting based on false claims of association with Antifa or the radical left. If those terms even are uttered by DHS agents, inform them that they are illegally arresting and or detaining you without providing you prompt due process of law or a cause for the said detention other than policies implemented by the regime. Political arrests, absent any other violation, are illegal. And one last thing, never assault or touch a police officer or federal agents. They will use that against you in any way they can. They will arrest you for disturbance of peace or for assault. And if they touch you in a harmful and or offensive manner without just probable cause or reasonable suspicion of a crime or illegality, that is also assault, and that is state oppression and violation of your fundamental rights of free assembly, speech, and expression. With all that said, thank you for being here. Take good care of yourself and those around you. Remain informed and remain vigilant. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.